Good morning guys and welcome to Beard Manners. Today we're going to be talking about ingredients. So why am I doing a video about ingredients, you might ask? I wanted to hit on this as an overall topic. There was a couple of conversations going on in particular groups I was in last night in Facebook, and in a couple of those groups the topic of ingredients, like I've just said, kind of repeating myself there, came up. So I thought, why not do a bit of a video about it? It's something that I feel quite big on. I reasonably recently got in a bit of a debate, not as much as a debate, more just a differ of opinions, should we say, with a couple of brand owners on a post from a reviewer where I kept coming up. People were asking what's best out of whipped butters and poured butters. I've given my opinions on that in another video. The argument I kept coming back with is I think the bigger question is that it's the ingredients are really good. I feel poured is better, personally, pound for pound. But I think a poured butter with 2 poor ingredients against a whipped butter with a dozen good ingredients, then I'd say the whipped would be best. I think if there's 2 poured butters of the same consistency, the one with the better ingredients is realistically going to be best. Now you could argue this is a bit of a grey one because there could be a fight for some people's beards prefer different ingredients, and that could of course be true as well. But a lot of this is just generally looking yourself. By law, us guys are meant to put our ingredients somewhere, whether it's on the bottles that they should be there, they should be on the website as well. So it should be easy to find ingredients. There's an element of you might have to unfortunately do a bit of your own research to find out what oils offer. It's not just about price, it really isn't. We all know you can buy things that are branded that are more expensive because they're branded. Oils aren't like that because you're buying them from the same wholesalers. There's dozens of wholesalers out there. I'm sure we all use different people. But, as an example, you could go and buy 5 litres of sunflower oil for the best part of £20, probably less than that. Whereas if you wanted to buy 5 litres of golden jojoba, or if you wanted to buy 5 litres of argan oil, then you're looking at closer to sort of 250 plus. You might get it a bit cheaper elsewhere, but you could certainly pay more elsewhere. I'd say the 250 mark's a pretty roundabout thing. So when you've got a brand that is making oils that are 30 to 50 mil, if they're using all ingredients that cost the best part of 20 to 30 pounds per 5 litres, but then you comparing to a brand that uses some oils that are about 40 pounds, some that are 80, some that are 200, some that are nearly 300, what you've got to figure out with that is that they're paying substantially more. No one's going to do that. No one's going to risk losing profit for something that's on par with or not as good as something else. So this is where I think the importance of ingredients come in. You can make really thick oils. 9 times out of 10 it's just 2 cheap oils together. Castor oil. I use castor oil. Castor oil is dirt cheap. It's literally like £30-40 for 5 litres, again depending on where you get it. It does offer goodness, but one of the main reasons I use castor is because it's thick and it helps to thicken the mix up. I feel that out of what the ingredients in my mix offers, castor almost offers the least. Some of the higher end ones, the avocado, the jojoba oil, the argan oil, things like that offer far more for your skin and your beard. But again, there's a purpose for adding the castor in what I do, and it's to help thicken it up so it's not too oily. And you can see a lot of people have used our oils. I think everyone would say they're a medium to thick consistency. I do use 2 thin oils on purpose, 2 medium oils on purpose, and 2 thicker oils on purpose, so that you can get that nice consistency. You can see with my mix, again, I always get this wrong with the camera. Try and get it to zoom as best I can. There you go. Look at that. Look, that is so clear. There's no streakiness in it. It doesn't leave that horrible oily residue around the bottle, around the glass. It's just a real nice, let me get another good one on there. That real nice colour and consistency. You can see by the colour that I'm using a lot of golden oils, which are vastly more expensive. And again, you can see by the way it moves in the jar, it's very far from thin, but it's not too thick either. It's not going to feel sticky on your hands. But anyway, so this isn't just about mine. So it's about the importance of ingredients. So yeah, I think a lot of people, particularly men don't put as much care and thought into products as women do. I think a lot of guys would have the attitude of, well, as long as I could potentially look like a Viking at the end of it, or it's got a label that I like and it smells fantastic, then that's what I'm buying. These are all things that do play a part. Everyone that follows me by now knows that I'm really into my whiskies. I could read about a whiskey and think and read that it's absolutely fantastic, but the marketing of it you know, the labelling and everything else, the branding does actually play a part. Today I went to look at some whiskies because we've got people coming around this evening, and I ended up buying a whiskey that's a bit of a fail-safe. I feel a bit disappointed because I should have tried something I've not tried before, but I got caught up in the branding. It's one I like the branding of. You know, so that can play a part. Scents, of course, they are. If the product's absolutely fantastic, but you don't like any of the scents that they do, that's not going to work out for you either, because you don't want something that smells crappy right underneath your nose and on your face all day. But, you know, I do think that it's important with this. All my videos are very impartial and very honest. I would like to urge people to put research into what they're buying. You know, because it's also about the mixes. I could be saying all of this and saying I use this, I use that, I use the other, but what I could be doing is putting 90% castor oil in my mix. I obviously don't do that. You know, I think if you watched any of my stuff, you know I'm a genuine honest guy. I'm passionate about this. Firstly, because I use it in my beard. It's the only thing I use. I don't try other things. I don't sample things. If I get sent a free product, I've got no interest in it. You know, my beard needs to be consistent. That's it. I don't get excited about trying other things. I purely use this and nothing else because this is my job. This is my job. So I'm also passionate for that. This isn't my first business. This isn't my first rodeo. You know, when I wanted to start this, I didn't just sit at home in lockdown thinking, I'm bored, I want to be a beard brand owner. You know, I had a business that was running itself. I didn't need the money, so to speak. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not boasting about money, but my bills are being paid because the business operates. You know, I didn't need to do this as a quick thing. I spent a lot of time on it. I purchased products from some of my favourite brands. I looked at the ingredients. I looked at what the common factors were in what I liked. I researched things. You know, my wife can vouch this. I made various different batches and mixes for months. I was testing them on paper that soaks things up so I could see how they soaked in. I've done all of this, and it's like I say, it's the only reason I brought the business up is because I know how to do a business plan and I know how to look at doing things right. So, you know, and I know that, and I've got to say this as well, this can sometimes sound like I'm digging other brands, so I'm not going to mention the other brands, but there's a lot of brands in the UK that are equally as good as us, in my opinion. You know, that you might prefer their branding or their scents, that do fantastically well. We're very new to this. We're nowhere near the biggest. You never hear me say we're the best. That's not my tactic. I don't work like that because people have the luxury of having their own taste. I do a good product, but you might not like it. You might prefer something from one of the other brands. So, you know, we're not the best for everyone. We're the best for who we're the best for. And the same with the other brands. So don't think that I'm dissing everyone and I'm trying to do a whole everyone come to Beard Manners. There's lots of incredibly good brands that have been going a lot longer than I have, that I often look to, you know, to see what they're doing, a lot of inspiration behind what I do. There are certain brands that when I wanted to start this business that I looked at and thought, that's where I want to be kicking it. No disrespect to some of the others, but I wasn't trying to sort of weasel my way in with you guys. There was a certain group that I was like, I need to catapult over you, because for me, this isn't a hobby. I want to have a go at this, and I want to challenge myself. And it's why that, you know, again, without being boastful, this is why I get asked all the time about why Beard Manners is doing so well so quickly. That is why, because I hit the ground running. I brought out loads of scents. You know, there's no one, I don't think there's anyone with more scents than us in the UK right now. But more than that, for anyone that started with the same timescale as us, or even anyone that's a year older than us, 2 years older than us, have got nowhere near the scents, the products and stuff that we have. And that's because, again, this was a business model. I knew if we were to make this, we couldn't come out with 4 scents in an oil, maybe a balm, maybe just one wash and things like that. We had to give you guys everything that you need for your beard. The only thing I haven't really put out is the conditioner. I've hit that before. I will bring out a conditioner purely because people want it, but the most honest I can be is I feel that with the quality of the wash that we use, with the quality of the butters that we use, that's all you need. And a lot of customers, I'm sure, I'd love to see some of my customers comment on this, because I know a lot of you can come in here and be like, so do I need an oil, a balm and a butter? I look at the beard, I assess the beard, I ask them what they're looking for, and I regularly say to people, look, you're new to the journey, just use a butter, just use an oil. You don't need balm yet. You've got a trimmed beard, a thick beard, it sits in place, you don't need a balm. I'm very like that. I know there's a lot of customers that have said you could have talked me into more stuff because I love the stuff, and I'm like, but that's not me. So this is why I think ingredients are important, because they're the foundation of the actual product. You know, I didn't want to build a label and a brand and then fit the ingredients in. I wanted to build a brand around my product. I wanted to come up with a product first, and that's where Beard Manners came into play. Beard Manners is about doing things the right way. It's about carrying yourself a certain way, you know, and that's what this is about. So like I say, You're going to find with this, guys, I know there's a lot of guys out there that will say it's all just oil. I just use baby lotion, I just use coconut, I just use this, and I'm sure your beards are fine, and I'm not here to say you're wrong. But when you're investing into people that have mixed things to try and give you better options, my argument would be that ingredients should matter. Do they matter? That's up to you. I can't tell you what you want. But like I say, same with anything else in the world. Like I said to one of these guys, you know, you get a lot of brands do constant discounts. I don't need to mention names. We all know of a very big one that might as well just do half the price they are, because no matter what you do, they are literally, you can't not get a discount from them. It literally offers you a discount the minute you go to check out. That just means they can sell it at a cheaper rate. It's marketing, is what it is. But again, this is something I spoke about yesterday. I don't do loads of discounts, but I feel that the price we charge for our products that are in the proper glass jars, the amber glass, which is better for UV. You know, again, it's not saying that things that aren't amber and aren't glass aren't right. It's just that this is better. You know, this is all stuff you can research yourself. That all comes at a cost. You know, the ingredients we use come at a cost, so I can't afford to be doing discounts every 5 minutes. So what you get when you buy from us is you get that consistent quality, very much like our mix, that you get from our ingredients. That consistency, that fine finish, something that does exactly what you want it to do. So like I say, guys, that's the importance of ingredients. So that you know, because I've said that I do the 2 thin, the 2 thick and the 2 medium. I'm not worried about airing it, because no one knows the mix I do. It's other processes to this, it's how you mix it, like at certain temperatures. You know, I do mix at certain temperatures because I find it makes it gel better. Again, it's a shame you can't see perfectly this, but you know, there is just literally no discoloration in there at all. It's a beautiful colour. So we use almond oil, argan oil, avocado oil, castor oil, grapeseed oil and jojoba oil. The oils that I have picked is what I felt offered the most differences to each other. Most oils offer very much the same sort of thing, but some offer certain things that others don't. So I tried to get as much variation in there as I could, which is part of why I've done the mix. You could go in and use all super expensive oils that cost an absolute fortune, and this is the other side of it. What they might do is just all counteract each other, and you could have just used one. So that's why I've used different oils of different consistencies and everything else. Same with the butters. With the butters, we use the exact same oils for around about 30-40% of our mix, and then it's mixed up with 3 different butters: shea butter, mango butter and avocado butter. The balms is made up of the oils, shea butter and beeswax. The tash wax is the only one that differs, because it's such a small amount of process and it's more of a purpose thing. The only oil that's got in it is castor, which again is because it's a thicker oil. It's literally just to give it enough to melt down, and then it's ridiculously heavy in beeswax and a little bit of shea butter. So just a very small amount of shea butter and castor, just to allow that little process of melting down, and then the rest is all beeswax and of course the scents. So like I say, guys, bit of a different video this one, and you have to excuse me, I've been a bit ranty looking around. It's insanely busy at Beach. I don't know if you can hear it, there's lots of people going on. I know there's a kid that's trying to make himself famous. I think he keeps popping his head through the door. But yeah, like I say, so ingredients, it's the same with everything else in the world. You know, McDonald's can afford to be cheap. They taste great, they fill you up. You know, it does what it fills a hole. But you don't want to spend a lot of money on McDonald's because it's shitty, crappy products. You know, if you go somewhere where you're spending £50 for a steak, what you expect to get is a seriously good steak cooked to perfection. You get what you pay for. So do your research, look at the ingredients, find out what you think would sound good to your beard, read about the oils. It doesn't take long. If I want to buy myself a cigar, what I do is I sit and read up about it. I read reviews about it, because I don't necessarily trust what the brand is telling me. You know, this is why I like that we've got so many reviews coming in, because that's honest opinions from people that use us. It's easy for me to sit here and say I love the product, because of course I do. You know, so look at all these things, do a bit of research in when you're wanting to try things. Find the brands that you like, find some scents that you like, read up about them, check the ingredients, because they should all help. It's all going to offer more to your beard, it's going to offer more to your skin, it's going to give you a happier experience and your beard a happier experience. And the other thing with the ingredients as well is what you will find, and this is feedback I get a lot of my reviews say this, and a lot of the other good brands out there, their reviews are like this as well, is you don't need as much. Even if we are a bit more expensive than some of the ones you get in the supermarket, you don't have to bath in ours. Like with my oils, even with my beard, 4 to 5 drops on each cheek, twice a day, job done. There's a video on my Instagram. You know, you see a lot of these guys do videos of using butter. They'll get a dirty grape scoop out, spread it all over their hands, get it all in their beard, trying to imply that you need half a jar of butter to make your beard good. You can see in my video, you all know I'm quite ballsy. I just literally take that big old dollop out like everyone else does, shake my head, scrape half of it back in the jar, and just use a little amount. Little and often, be consistent, good ingredients, great beard. Anyway guys, I'm gonna go and have a cigar, I'm gonna have a coffee, it's Friday, it's sunny, looking forward to the weekend. Hope you all have a good one, I'll catch you all soon. Comment, like and subscribe, please fellas.